So you want to know what it's really like inside a hedge fund. Not the stuff you see in movies, but the actual day-to-day, year-to-year grind. Well, that's what we're going to do. We're going to walk through the entire journey, from your very first day as an intern all the way to the top.
It all starts when you're about 20 years old. You probably sent out, 40 applications, and you got one offer. Just one. But that one offer is everything. It's your ticket into this world, where, let's be honest, the name of your school opens the door way more than what you actually know. You think you're ready, but you really have no idea what you're walking into.
Okay, so you show up on day one. You're wearing a suit that probably costs more than your month's rent. And the first thing you notice? How quiet it is. It's like a library, but instead of books, fortunes are being made and lost in total silence. Your entire job is basically to fake it till you make it. Just nod along, pretend you know all the acronyms, until one day you actually do. And the competition? Oh, it's instant. You're one of 8 interns, all gunning for maybe 2 full-time jobs. Everyone's super polite to your face, of course, but underneath, it is absolutely cutthroat.
And this really lays out the trade-off, doesn't it? While your friends are backpacking through Europe and blowing up Instagram, your reality is, well, it's building spreadsheets, reading 1,000-page financial reports, and eating a sad lunch at your desk. You're giving up your life for a chance to make it here.
And pretty quickly, you realize something fundamental. The place doesn't run on ambition. Not really. The real fuel is fear. It's the deep, nagging fear of just being ordinary. Because in a place where everyone is exceptional, being average means you're out. And that fear is what keeps everyone chained to their desks. So, against the odds, you get the return offer. You finish college, you come back, and boom, you've hit level 2. You're now a junior analyst. Sounds fancy, right? Well, the reality is a whole lot more demanding.
Yeah, let's be real about your title. You're the first person in the office at 7 a.m., and you're probably one of the last to leave. You're not making big calls. You're not making any calls. You are the engine room, doing all the grunt work that nobody else wants to do, feeding the beast with data and models.
And this is how you learn. It's a brutal, repetitive cycle. You'll pour weeks of your life into one idea. You'll build this masterpiece of a financial model, you'll present it, and your boss will just rip it to shreds in less than 5 minutes. And then you do it all over again.
You're going to hear this phrase a lot. Not the right risk-reward. All it means is that the potential money you can make isn't worth the risk of losing. Each no is a lesson, but it's a harsh one. You learn by failing, publicly, in front of people who just don't have time to soften the blow.
Now, the reward for all this, the pay is staggering. You're in your early 20s making more than your parents combined. But the cost, well, the cost is everything else. Your time just evaporates. You miss weddings, birthdays. Eventually, your friends just stop calling.
After a few years of that grind, the junior finally drops from your title. You are now an analyst, and everything changes. You own a whole sector. Your job is to know it better than anyone else, to build this informational edge that no one else has. You also learn a hard truth. You're only as good as your last idea.
This is it. This is the moment of truth. You've spent a month living and breathing this one company. You've talked to everyone, you've built the models, and it all boils down to this one question. Can you distill all of that complexity into 2 simple, powerful sentences?
He listens, asks a couple of tough questions, and then he just nods. And just like that, $40 million of the fund's capital is invested because of you. Your hands are literally shaking as you walk back to your desk.
And then comes the worst part. The waiting. For weeks, the stock just sits there, and the doubt starts to eat you alive. Did you miss something? Was the whole thing a mistake? It's honestly an agonizing feeling.
And then, validation. The company releases its earnings, and it confirms everything you predicted. The stock soars, and just like that, your idea has made the fund $6 million. For the first time, you feel like maybe you actually belong here. The next morning, your boss walks by your desk. He doesn't stop. He just says 2 words. Nice call. That's it. There's no party, no big celebration, but in this world, those 2 words are everything. They're your standing ovation.
So you've proven you can make the call, and you get promoted to level 4, portfolio manager. Now you have your own capital, what they call a book, and the job changes completely. It's not about the research anymore. It's about the pure, crushing weight of making the final decision every single day.
So your book is this huge pool of money that is now your responsibility. And the scary part? There's nowhere to hide. Your performance is just a number on a screen that everyone in the firm can see, updated in real time. It is the most brutal and pure form of accountability you can imagine.
And this is so important to understand. The stress completely changes. As an analyst, it was all physical. Just brute force the number of hours you could stay awake. But as a portfolio manager, it's a 24/7 psychological weight. Markets are moving while you sleep. That constant pressure is a whole different beast. All right, now we get to the top of the pyramid. At these senior levels, you're not in the trenches trading every day. Your job becomes much bigger. You are now the architect of the entire system, managing the people, the culture, and the overall risk of the firm. Think about the chief investment officer. They're not worried about whether one stock goes up or down. They're worried about the things that could destroy the entire fund. What if there's a financial crisis? What if a geopolitical event blows up the market? Their job isn't to pick winners anymore. It's to protect the firm from total disaster.
And that brings us to the very top, the founder's view. You're looking back on this thing you built, a journey that might have started in a tiny office 20 years ago and is now this massive global institution.
And you realize that as the money grew, the job itself completely changed. At 50 million, you were just a trader looking for an edge. At 500 million, you had to be a real investor. By 5 billion, you were an institution. And at 15 billion, you weren't just an institution, you were a target for regulators, competitors, everyone. The success actually made the job harder.
And then it all comes full circle. You look out across the trading floor at the new class of interns, and you see a younger version of yourself. And you know that right now, somewhere out there, there's another kid in a dorm room, grinding away, about to get that one offer that will change his life. He's about to start this whole crazy cycle all over again.